Okay, so I think we are live now. Oh, you guys have joined. Am I audible to all of you? Devangana, Kundan, Manish, Mohit, Niprender, Prachi. Am I audible to all of you? Yes, Devangana says yes. Prachi, hi, good evening. Kundan, Shivya. Okay, that's nice. That's very nice. So the process of your mains preparation has started. Some of you joined me on the GS session also. On Tuesday, Thursdays, Friday, you must study geography for the whole day, and Monday and Wednesday. Yeah, so whole day except the last slot. Okay, the last slot hai. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are geography days, but the Tuesday work starts on Monday night. The Thursday work starts on Wednesday night. The Friday starts on Thursday night. ठीक है? Now, similarly, you have 3 days for GS. So if Monday is your GS, then Sunday night is your Monday work starting. If Saturday is your GS, then Friday evening, okay, your GS work starts, Manish. I hope that's clear now. Yeah, Mahima, hi. Online guys on the YouTube, am I audible to all of you? Am I streaming fine? Because of the confusion around results and the insecurity around your marks and your results, I decided if the first couple of sessions, we will have it on the YouTube also, just the discussion sessions, not the entire program with all the supporting content and supporting documents. Okay, so welcome. I hope you are also benefiting from the sessions. पहले मुझे एक जल्दी से update दे दो, all of you, all those enrolled students. Are you able to manage the pressure? We had geography for the whole day for Tuesday, and today you were supposed to write answers for history. Are you able to sync with the demand of the program? Writing 10 answers, looking back into PYQs, the revision videos. Of course, for history, I did not share the revision videos because the course has not begun formally. We start from 8th. But for geography, were you able to manage the pressure? Can you give me some idea about that? Hi, Pragya, Yugender, Mahima, Kundan, Dheeraj has joined. Okay. Akriti. Is it manageable for all of you? Because I know that targets are a bit stiff. The targets demand that you do a bit intensely. Juggling a bit, Shivya. Shivya will take you about 1 week's time. Okay? So patience, don't lose your patience. It'll take you 1 week's time. And once you are into that process, once you're into that type of routine, it'll work out. Pragya, if you do not see revision videos, that's fine. But make sure you do see the PYQ videos that I have shared. Hi, Priya on YouTube. You got enrolled, enrichment. I'm yet videos. That's entirely your choice, Priya. If you have done enrichment intensely, done all the tests, revised well, zarurat nahi padega. But if you have not done all of that and you need some support and guidance, you must join. That's entirely your call. So some students prefer not to join, but quite a few want the revision things, so they join. Okay, but yes, the questions, the discussions will be different for MSP than enrichment. वो फर्क तो रहेगा. Okay, but ठीक है, that's your call. Acha, so let us start off now. If you can all see my screen. Is my screen visible to all of you? On the revision day, geomorphology second, how can we write answers tomorrow morning itself? Manish, आज बैठ के करो 4 hours of revision. Okay, just 10 questions. So revise whatever you can. Remember, आपको मेंस देना है, right? Okay, आपको मेंस देना है. So accordingly, you'll have to be ready. Accordingly, you have to be pretty, agile there. और सारा ना भी हुआ कोई बात नहीं, but make sure that you at least trying. ठीक है? But you don't have another chance by that logic. Okay, all of you, if you can see my screen, I'm getting started. So we have had first day, Tuesday. So we are starting with Geography MSP 2026. Okay, the first day was Tuesday. Tuesday was Geomorphology Part 1. And then we have Thursday is Geomorphology Part 2. Okay, Part 1 में it was more of tectonic geomorphology. So plate tectonics, volcanism, earthquakes, isostasy, mountain building. We did a bit of discussions on geosynclines. And part 2, आज जो कराएंगे, this one we have tomorrow. We're dealing with slopes, slope studies, geohydrology, economic geomorphology. We're looking at applied aspects. Okay, something on erosion, surfaces, and event denudation chronology. So that's how I have divided the topics for the 2 days, right? So kal jo hai, you will be writing on these topics. And I'll be giving you 10 questions tonight. So probably from 8:30 से लेकर maybe 11 o'clock तक हो, about 3 hours if possible, or till 12 o'clock ho. You please revise the 10 questions. Revise the 10 questions and then you write the answers tomorrow. So आपको basically answers reproduce करना है, something like I've given the question paper to you beforehand. Okay, look up those questions and okay, you ultimately will try to answer those. And tomorrow you also have another session. I'll discuss some more topics, okay, on Thursday. ठीक है? So the question paper I'm looking at is this one. So this question paper I'll share with all of you. Okay. So I've given you 10 questions on this. There are 10 questions on channel morphology, on Daviesian model, applied geomorphology, geohydrology. Okay, we'll take those up one by one. So let's take up the first question. Okay, I'll demonstrate how, not all the questions, but maybe 3-4 questions I'll demonstrate how you could have analyzed those. The पहला question देखते हैं, if you all can see this. Define channel morphology. Define channel morphology and explain the primary physical processes that govern the changes in the morphology of river channels over time. See, one thing I want all of you to learn is the questions just straight wale hai to theek hai, you all can answer those. But we are trying to focus on questions which are a bit more in-depth, questions which are probing your deeper concepts, questions which are more applied in nature, and that demand you to bring a lot of concepts across geography into one answer. So deliberately, the type of questions I'm listing for you are a bit more tricky questions. And I think these should be the trend in your mains examination. If you have seen the type of questions asked in the prelims, where you could not have anticipated many questions because they are deeper ones. Some of them are applied ones. So I think mains also will have the same trend. Okay, so all of you, if you have a pen paper ready, ये question पहले लिख लो. Write down this question. Define channel morphology. Define channel morphology and explain the primary physical processes, okay, that govern the changes in morphology of river channels over time. Okay, so define channel morphology. Okay, then I'm needed there. All of you, please give me just a few minutes. I'll join back. I must attend to one small call. Just give me a few minutes, please. 1 or 2 minutes, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to attend a small call, right? So the question said, define geomorphology. And then it says, explain the primary physical processes. Okay. What are the primary physical processes? Okay. Processes that govern the changes in morphology of river channels. Processes that govern the channel morphology, the changes in the channel morphology changes. So in this question, I believe you should be okay with defining channel morphology. Channel morphology is a branch of geomorphology. It's a branch of studying fluvial systems. It's a way of studying rivers. And channel morphology के 3 component है. It studies the interaction between hydrology, okay, or hydraulics, channel geometry, channel geometry, and things related to the landscape, the rocks, the sediments. We also call these as the geomaterial. ये तीन relationship क्या है? When I say hydraulics or hydrology, I'm talking about discharge, I'm talking about velocity of the river. When I talk about channel geometry, I'm talking about the channel length, talking about channel depth, we're talking about channel wetted perimeter. And when I say geomaterial, it's about the sediments, the rocks through which the system flows. So Aram se, I think in 2 or 3 sentences, you can explain what channel morphology is. अब ये बता रहा है कि discuss the primary physical processes. When I say physical processes, I'm talking about all the natural ones. Ignore the human aspects. The primary physical processes that govern the changes in the channel morphology. So when we say change in the channel morphology, when we say change in channel morphology, ये change कैसे changes हैं? The changes are related to velocity. The changes are related to channel length, depth of the channel. The changes are related to the width of the channel. The changes can include channel shifting, meandering, deposition process. Okay. The changes are related to how the river course can have change in the course, like a river capture, if you know channel avulsion. तो ये कुछ terms पता होना चाहिए. Channel braiding. So quickly you should recall. I think when you revise a channel morphology, these terms must be quickly recallable by you. Okay, a change in channel morphology का मतलब क्या है? Morphology means change in velocity of the river, change in channel length of the river, change in depth of the river, width of the channel, a river shifting, river meandering, how deposition, erosion can lead to river capture, avulsion, river braiding, anastomosing river. It can all the features linked to meandering, the shoal formation. So this is the set of changes in channel morphology. अब ये कह रहा है कि बताओ, what are the physical factors that are responsible for the change in the channel morphology? Question देखो आप. Look at the question again. See, the whole idea of this conversation is that you have to talk about what has been asked. So define channel morphology. मैंने इसको अलग कर दिया. Okay. Explain the primary process, इसको छोड़ो, that govern the changes in the morphology of the river channels over time. So what do you mean by change in the river channel morphology? Okay. So पहले मैंने क्या किया? I have ignored morphology word. I changed morphology word. I'm discussing on what are the changes in the river channels. एक river channel में क्या क्या change होता है? मैंने listing कर दिया. Okay, so the changes include velocity of the river. The change includes length, depth, width, shifting, meandering, river capture, avulsion, braiding, and so on. Now I'll specify key changes में which are the changes in morphology. Changes in morphology. So main change of morphology का मतलब है change in the length, change in the depth, change in the width. And morphology में length का change जो है, it is linked to shifting of rivers. When a river shifts, the length can change. The change of length is linked to meandering of the rivers. Okay, the change of length is linked to your braiding of the rivers. It's linked to avulsion or chute cutoff. Did you all understand this question? That's an important point. If you understand the question suddenly becomes manageable. What are the factors in the changes in the channel morphology? So morphology क्या है? Morphology are linked to form. जो morphology कहते हैं, the changes which are linked to form. Form का तीन ही है. Form is length, form is width, form is depth. Okay, width or depth से linked है what's called as wetted perimeter. Okay, so define channel morphology and then tell me the physical processes which are responsible for change in the morphology of the river. Did you all understand this much of the question? Did you all understand this aspect? What I mean by ये समझ में आया? Prachi, I'll go there. Okay, so I have answered two parts. I've answered number one, what is channel morphology? ये बता दिया. Then I have discussed what do I mean by changes in the channel morphology. Now I must talk about the processes that cause the change in the channel morphology. What the processes that, अब आप बताओ processes क्या है? Let's see if you can tell what are the processes that create change in morphology. आप बताओ अब, let's see. Yeah, very nice. Fluid erosion, definitely. Yes, what else? Sediment transportation, weathering. Okay. Yes, right, Manan. Very nice. Priyanshu, very nice. Somebody on the YouTube, आप बताओ क्या processes हैं? Yes, absolutely, Pawan. Okay. The processes that cause changes, one is the change in discharge. Then we have changes linked to, okay, erosion and deposition. Yes, absolutely. Do we have factors linked to tectonic process also? Can tectonic processes change the channel morphology? Yes or no? Yes. बताओ कैसे? बताओ, how can tectonic processes change morphology? Venkatesh, I'm asking physical process, not a factor. Age of a river is a factor, not a process. Nature of rock is a factor, not a process. Isostasy. Okay, so what does isostasy do? वो बताओ ना प्रियांशु. How does a tectonic and isostasy को मैं एक ही ब्लॉक में डाल दूंगा? Now tell me how tectonics and isostasy, what they change the slope of the river. Okay, because of slope, okay, they change the velocity of the river. Tectonic processes control the rocks of the river. Yes, they impact through rejuvenation. Yes, correct. Okay. Erosion deposition. They can result in increasing the width, increasing the depth. So we have lateral erosion. Okay, we have vertical erosion. Deposition, okay, can result in, okay, the river becoming sluggish. Deposition impacts the velocity of the river. Okay, and discharge ka, I hope you remember, okay, how velocity, depth, and width, these are all a function of discharge. याद है आपको how they are function of discharge? ये याद है? Somebody has given some equations on this. Some equations, बताओ किसके equations हैं? Leopold and Maddock. Yes. Vikas Bhargav, you are not in geography optional mode right now. Okay, you have to use terms of channel morphology. Yes, Prachi. So how do the processes impact change in morphology? Okay, the processes linked to discharge. So discharge is linked to what? Anybody can tell me? What is discharge? Which physical process decides discharge? Which physical process decides discharge? Anybody? Rainfall. Yeah, absolutely. Rainfall decides discharge. Yes, yes. River capture decides discharge. If two rivers, okay, they merge, discharge, it can change. Glacial melting, perfect. Yes. Question समझ में आया all of you here? How to break up a question? That is our important point. एक question को तोड़ा कैसे जाता है? Okay, then let me try another question. I'm done with this. I think one important question is this one. Davis model is neither replicable nor suggestive nor representative, yet it is popular in geomorphology. Explain this. Like Davis model is neither replicable nor suggestive, nor is it representative. Davis model. It is not replicable. It is not suggestive. It is not representative. And yet it is popular. And yet it is popular. Why is it not replicable? तो पहले बताओ. Let's go one by one. Let's go slowly, Priyanshu. What do you mean by replicable? What do you mean by replicable? Replicable का मतलब होता है it can be used again and again in all situations. Not just small areas, in all situations. Yes, correct, Manan. It can be used again. It can be derived again. Okay. That's what replicable means. Okay. That it can be used and it is relevant in all instances. What does suggestive mean? What does suggestive mean? It means basically it can predict. It can suggest what will happen. It can predict. Okay. Suggestive. So it means it can tell us what can be the future. So words important. If you mess up the words, then you will make a mistake in the answer. Why not replicable? Pehle jano what is replicable. Oh, that's nice, Niharika. I'm happy to have been of some help. Okay. Congratulations, Niharika. You've qualified. Okay. Reach out if you need some other help, Niharika. Okay. And if you have done it for Bihar, I'm sure you can try for UPSC also. Okay. So replicable ka matlab hai, it can be used for all instances. Suggestive means predictive. Representative ka matlab ye hota hai, okay, that it mirrors all landscapes. It represents glacial, it represents arid, it represents marine, it represents savanna. ठीक है. पीयूष, प्लीज डोंट गो टेक्निकल वे. पहले मुझे बताओ ये तीन समझ में आए कि नहीं, एंड देन टेल मी वन बाय वन. why the model is not replicable, why the model is not suggestive, and why the model is not representative. Why the model is not replicable is because of assumptions. Assumptions like uniform lithology. Okay, there is no role for tectonics. Okay, it is not replicable because it does not account for. It doesn't account for role of non-geomorphological factors, role of vegetation, okay, role of human beings. इसीलिए वो replicable नहीं हो पा रहा. It is a very, very simplistic model. It is a very simplistic model. The assumptions are such that they do not represent, okay, the actual reality. Why is it not suggestive? Because it is qualitative. There is no mathematical treatment. Okay. That's why you cannot tell us exactly क्या होने वाला है. It's again, of course, यहाँ पर भी assumptions हैं that also results in lot of landform changes are linked to climatic factors. And why is it not representative? Because Davis model was based on normal cycle concepts. It considers all other climatic factors as climatic accidents. Okay. It assumes that only North American humid and temperate conditions are normal. Is it okay? Normative तो नहीं बोलेंगे like that, but yes, ठीक है. I think you got the point. Yes, Manan. That's why वो replicable भी नहीं है, वो suggestive भी नहीं है, और वो representative भी नहीं है. Okay. It is not replicable. एक और reason है. The concept of cycle. Everything repeats. Changes are always slow. Okay. So ये जो assumptions थे of Darwinian ideas, it can't be replicable in all conditions. Lot of events are fast. Lot of events do not repeat. Okay. Landforms do not go through time-based changes, which are stage-based changes. That's why it is not replicable. तो आपका काम था इस क्वेश्चन में आप ये 3 वर्ड्स का मीनिंग समझें. What do these 3 words mean? Are you ensuring you guys are writing down the points? Are points लिख रहे all of you? Are you jotting the points down? Yeah? Yeah? So why not replicable is one set of points. Why not suggestive? ठीक है. अच्छा बताओ, why is it popular? Despite all of these points, what makes Davis model popular? Because it is simple, because it's a very interesting concept. Why popular? Because it was the first geomorphological model. ये पानी दे दो, ठीक है? Yes, it was one of the key pillars of American school. ठीक है? And good, एक और चीज guys, these 3 words जो है ना, replicable, suggestive and representative. Lot of points can be common also, so don't worry. Yes, of course. Okay, the dominance of English language. But more important, interesting था जो Darwinian idea लेके आए थे. It was very interesting. Studying landforms as a consequence of time, birth and mature and senile conditions. बहुत interesting idea है. हो जाएगा answer all of you? So आपके body ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. Okay. Start with the introduction. Okay. Davis model, 2, 3 points. Make a graph or a table or schematic. Okay. You can probably show the graphical representation of high mountains becoming small, penny plain, the youthful stage, mature stage, senile stage. So यहाँ पे कुछ points आ गया, यहाँ कुछ points आ गया. Entire Davis model can be shown in a diagram. Okay. Then you come towards the body. Body, why not replicable? Why not suggestive? Why not representative? And why popular? All the points cover karo. And the conclusion is there are alternatives to Davis. Okay, a process model, equilibrium model. Yes, Gabbar Singh. K5J5R, yes. Absolutely correct. Yes. Chalo, this question is done. Let's try another question. Okay. I think this will be interesting one. Overexploitation of groundwater is not merely a hydrological problem, but it is a geohydrological challenge. Question number 7. Okay. It is not merely a hydrological problem, but it is a geohydrological challenge. Okay. Over exploitation of groundwater is not merely a hydrological problem, okay, and it is a geohydrological challenge. Gabbar Singh, I do not know आपके मन में क्या है, पहले वो बताओ. Then I can tell you whether you can add a regional angle or not. Yes, Manan, correct. Okay, the personification of landform. Okay, landform as a person, okay, that is born, that grows, matures, and dies. That's the Darwinian idea, correct? अच्छा बताओ, what do you mean by it is not merely a hydrological problem? इसका मतलब क्या है पहले बताओ. When something is a hydrological problem, what does it mean? Hydrological problem का मतलब क्या है? It is only about water, about rainfall, about climate, about water extraction. Okay. It's about water application. इसमें सिर्फ वाटर एंगल आता है, खासकर द क्लाइमेट, रेनफॉल एंड इट्स यूज. Okay. So the loss of groundwater or groundwater problem is not only about water issue. It is not simply about if there is less rainfall, there is more fall in groundwater. Okay. If there is less rainfall, groundwater will be removed more. Dry areas will have bigger problem of water extraction. So when I link it to water cycle, yes, Venkate, very well said. These are factors linked to water cycle, correct. So when factors are linked to water cycle alone, then we'll call it as a hydrological problem. Okay? When I say geohydrological problem, यहाँ पे geo का मतलब क्या है? It is linked to land stability, landslides. It is linked to type of rocks, okay, their porosity, their permeability. It is linked to slopes of the land. Okay. Yes, aquifers, correct. Okay. It is linked to lot of disasters. Okay. Disasters, think of GLOF. Disasters of, we have talked about landslides. Disasters of land subsidence. Okay. Somewhere water usage is also linked to water contamination. So overuse of groundwater is not simply about water cycle. It's not simply about more rainfall, less rainfall. It is not simply about drawing more water, using more water. ये water का issue नहीं है, इसमें geo angle भी है. Okay, it's linked to nature of aquifers. It is linked to the problems of landslide disasters. It is linked to the challenges of land subsidence. Okay, water contamination. So you cannot look at hydrological problems ignoring the landscape. You cannot look at hydrological problems if you ignore the area's geomorphology. Pavan, when I say slopes, when I talk about land stability, when I mention the word aquifers, lithological characteristics, okay, it is then part of your optional. Lot of aquifer problems are linked to channel morphology. तो आप geomorphology के terms use करो. Yeah. Question समझ में आ रहा है all of you? अगर क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है तो आप ऐसा कर लोगे. अगर क्वेश्चन सही समझ में आ रहा है, then you'll be all over the place. So if I'm structuring the answer, okay, so I'll say introduction. Groundwater exploitation is often considered an issue of overdrawing of water, and a condition linked to rainfall scarcity and less availability of agricultural irrigation water. ठीक है? Groundwater exploitation is often considered as an issue of overdrawing of water. कि आपने पानी ज्यादा निकाल लिया. It's a condition linked to a rainfall scarcity. जहां पानी कम है, you will remove more water. It's a problem linked to that you have overuse because the area has irrigation limitations. Groundwater exploitation is not a hydrological problem only. Is not a hydrological problem only. फिर आप क्या करोगे? You probably can show a map of India. Regions of groundwater exploitation and its relationship with rainfall and aridity. Punjab, Haryana, rainfall is less than 60 centimeters. Plateau interiors, again, rainfall less than 75 centimeters. These are two main areas, the Northwest India and the Plateau interiors. The two main areas where we have got very high withdrawal of water. हमें बता रहे हैं कि this map tells us the groundwater exploitation and its relationship with rainfall and aridity. So this diagram represents the groundwater exploitation as a hydrological problem. You're always welcome. Aim Cracker, reach out to us. We'll let you know how you can get enrolled. You're always welcome. मुझे बहुत मजा आता है पढ़ाने में. आपको मजा आएगा पढ़ने में. No issues. You're welcome. Did you all understand the introduction and the diagram? Now we'll say groundwater exploitation is a geohydrological challenge. The पहला part मैंने बता दिया that it looks like a hydrological problem. अब हम बोल रहे हैं that it is a geohydrological challenge. Why? Because overexploitation of groundwater can cause geomorphological disasters. Overexploitation of groundwater is also linked to rocks' lithological properties. Overexploitation of groundwater is linked to slope characteristics. And end the answer by saying that overexploitation is also linked to human factors like urbanization, human factors like aquaculture activities. It's also linked to low recharge because of deforestation. Yeah, तो ये आपके आंसर का पार्ट्स हो गया. The first part, it looks like a hydrological problem. Second part, how is it a geomorphological challenge? And conclusion mein, there are other aspects also. So the key to such answers is that you have to understand the questions. Second part, I drew a diagram, Vedanti. I drew a map. I drew a map of India. And in the map of India, I was demarcating where all do we have the ground water exploitation problem kahan par hai. One is this part here. This is the green revolution belt. And we also have overexploitation in parts of, okay, this is the sugarcane belt of Maharashtra of black cotton soil. This is approximately the rainfall map of India. Okay, so this diagram tells us the groundwater exploitation is more in the arid areas. It is more in, okay, low rainfall regions. So this tells us, okay, this seems like groundwater is a hydrological problem. Oh, Vedanti, acha, that part. So second point I said is that it is linked to, okay, what are the ways in which the groundwater exploitation is a geological challenge? Because of groundwater, okay, we can have geological disasters, landslides, GLOF. Okay, we can have land subsidence. The overexploitation is a function of rock type. Okay, rocks like igneous rocks, they will have more problems of fall of groundwater. Okay, it is linked to slope characteristics. Jahan par steep slopes hoga, the water recharge is low, and there if I pump out water, I can have shortages. Yes, correct, Venkatesh. Deccan Trap region, igneous rocks, the areas has low amount of groundwater and therefore overexploitation, correct. And then I'm saying the overexploitation is also linked to urbanization. Agriculture is also linked to industrialization. A lot of industries, okay, think of now you have got those data centers. We have AI units that require a lot of water. Lot of groundwater problem can be because of lithium processing. So groundwater extraction is also about the way we are using it in terms of, okay, urbanization problems. So add kar lo. Answer ban gaya all of you? You can, Priyanshu, absolutely. Is this question now understandable? Yeah? Overexploitation of groundwater is not merely a hydrological problem. but it is a geohydrological challenge. We could try this question also. The increasing incidence of landslides in mountains highlights the limitations of traditional slope analysis. Let's try this question. The increasing incidence of landslides in mountains highlights the limitation of traditional slope analysis. Increasing landslides. Point to limitation of traditional slope analysis models. Let's discuss what does this question mean. So when I link landslides to slope analysis, okay, what is my expectation? What is my expectation? जब मैं कोई लैंडस्लाइड को लिंक करता हूं विद स्लोप एनालिसिस, व्हाट एम एक्सपेक्टिंग? ना वेदांति दोबारा क्वेश्चन सुनो. It says increasing incidence of landslides has highlighted the limitations of traditional slope analysis. Why am I saying that it highlights limitations? When I'm using the word that there are limitations, so what was my expectation? Ye batao. My expectation was, okay, that slope analysis should help me predict landslides. Slope analysis should help me map landslide vulnerable regions. They should help me in landslides management. Okay, मेरा expectation क्या है? Question सुनो. Why am I saying वो limitation है? Limitation है because I'm saying if you look at the present day slope analysis, what do they not do? They are not able to predict landslide होने वाला है. Using Davis model, so ये जो traditional slope analysis models कौन से हैं? The models are Davis model, Fink's model, L.C. King's model, equilibrium model, Young's model, Stoller's model. Okay. What are the traditional models? हम ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं. Yes, Venkatesh, correct. Applied, but in what way applied? ये बताओ ना. So when they are traditional, which of them are traditional? So when I use the word that they have limitations, हम क्यों कह रहे हैं limitations हैं? Because the slope analysis, they do not help me predict landslides. Okay. Because they do not help me map landslide vulnerable regions. In fact, they do not talk about, okay, what are the factors that cause landslides. ठीक है? Piyush, what was that? Yes, yes, correct. They do not help me in landslide management. That is why I'm saying that they have limitations. अब आप बताओगे ये limitations क्यों हैं? Why are they having limitations? ठीक है? Because the traditional slope models, they are about how slopes are formed. They are about studying how time is an important factor in slope change. Okay. They study the relationship of endogenic and exogenic in shaping the slopes. The factors are largely linked to the initial slope angles. They study about how rivers can shape the slopes. And many of these models, they are based on assumptions of normal cycle, assumptions. They ignore tectonic activities, assumptions climate is not important, assumptions okay, that there is uniform lithology. The traditional slope models, they study about how slopes are formed. They study about how slopes evolve. They study how slopes change. Okay. They study okay, the shape of the slopes. They study uniform lithology that makes up the slopes. Whereas slope stability and landslides, these are functions of vegetation. They are functions of rainfall. They are functions of human activities. They are functions of construction. Okay. The prediction models requires more mathematical models. Kuldeep, रैंडम टर्म्स यूज ना करो तो अच्छा है. okay. आप मैंने कहा ना आपको बार बार वही कह रहे हैं कि आपको क्वेश्चन समझना चाहिए. टाइम स्पेस कन्वर्जेंस करके मैं यहाँ क्या करूंगा? टाइम स्पेस कन्वर्जेंस इज यूज्ड टू टॉक अबाउट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और माइग्रेशन और मोबिलिटी. हम उसकी बात कर रहे हैं. यस वेदांती. okay. Whereas slope stability and landslides, they depend on vegetation, deforestation, rainfall, cloud bursts. They depend on human activities like agriculture, constructions, slope modifications. They require mathematical treatment. We have new factors like climate change, GLOF. Okay. Depend on mining activities. And these things are not considered in the traditional models. Question dobara samjho. Okay. The increasing incidence of landslides in the mountain regions has highlighted the limitations of traditional slope analysis. The traditional slope analysis are more about how slopes are formed and how slopes change in time. They're more about studying slopes as a representation of endogenic and exogenic processes. Models like Davis, okay, they study slopes in terms of how slopes evolve through time, slow, gradual Darwinian changes. Pink's model is about studying slopes from the point of view of appreciating the endogenic forces as responsible for slope changes. They talk about slopes with assumptions of uniform lithology, assumptions like normal cycle, assumptions like the role of rivers alone, assumptions like okay, the role of a scarp face. That's एक टेबल बना देना what is the focus study of traditional slope models? Davis slopes as living things. Penck slopes as a window to study geomorphic changes. L.C. King slopes evolution in semi-arid regions. Strollers slopes as equilibrium. And none of this, they can predict landslides. The traditional slope models are highly simplistic. Traditional slope models are based on assumptions. You make a list. And then you say, the landslides of the mountain regions, on the other hand, are linked to deforestation, construction, human activities. Examples though. Why did we have landslides in Joshimath? Why did we have landslides in Western Ghats and Calicut, Kerala region? Why do we have landslides in construction, dams, HEP projects? None of these are considered in the traditional slope models. Therefore, traditional slope models are more descriptive. The traditional slope models, they are generalizations, they are deductive models, and therefore are not useful in slope planning or slope modeling and stability. Make sense, all of you? Make sense, all of you? All those enrolled students, we are uploading a new set of case studies, which has case studies related to geomorphology. We're uploading a new set of case studies, and those case studies have something around geomorphological aspects. If you can see my screen, I'm showing you my screen. Can you all see my screen, all of you? So आपका ये screen में देखो case studies on sand mining, hydrology, rifting of river valley, geological mapping, earthquakes of Turkey, reservoir induced seismicity, GLOF, ये कुछ important case studies हैं. So study these case studies for your answers of geomorphology. With diagrams, with maps, with facts, इसको use करना. So online YouTube guys, you cannot see all of this because ये paid students का part है. So I'll upload all of this for you. Understandable, all of you? We are running out of power. Let me quickly recharge. So I've discussed 4 or 5 questions now. This will be an important question. By the way, we are giving you model answers on all of these. Your work will be to study the model answers. Your work is to study, the keywords, study the examples, memorize them, and then reproduce. So this is an important question. Applied geomorphology deals with the application of geomorphic understanding to solve problems of land occupancy, resource exploitation, and environmental management. Okay. Well, how does applied geomorphology help understand concerns of land occupancy, resource exploitation, and environmental management? Okay, so if I explain this to you, how does applied geomorphology help deal in or manage issues of land occupancy, issues of resource exploitation, land occupancy, resource exploitation, and environmental management. How does applied geomorphology help in issues of land occupancy? So it can help us deal with problems of urbanization. Okay. It can help us deal with problems of desertification. Because desertification is about land occupancy of marginal land. Urbanization is land occupancy of fertile lands. Land occupancy is about constructions in mountainous areas. Land occupancy are issues related to land subsidence in geomorphological weak areas. Okay. So applied geomorphology helps in deal with urbanization problems, desertification problems, okay, the problems in mountain areas, the problems of land subsidence and disasters. How is applied geomorphology important in resource exploitation? Like say, problems of groundwater overuse because of aquifer issues, coal mining and subsidence issues, sand mining, and problems of channel morphology. Okay, problems of mountains, mining, and landslides. There's an example of resource exploitation and what does it do? And how does it help in environmental management? Environmental management, such as pollution control, environmental management, okay, such as air pollution, where the sediments are loose, dust particles, air pollution. Applied geomorphology, environment problems, say, reducing wasteful mining, which can lead to problems of fires, subsidence, आपको ये लिस्टिंग चाहिए था. How does applied geomorphology help in issues of land occupancy? How does it help in resource exploitation studies? And how does it help in environmental management? So environment management, we can talk about GLOF management. Environment management includes landslides management. Environmental management linked to dam constructions. Pick up 3-4 of them. The applied geomorphology is application of geomorphological principles to benefit human lives, to better human quality of life, for furthering human development, for ensuring management of land issues, economic benefits, hydrology. Introduction हो गया. You can draw a schematic. The answer में सबसे पहले शुरू करो introduction about what is applied geomorphology. You can draw a schematic about the scope of applied geomorphology. Then the body may one by one. Applied geomorphology and issues of land occupancy. Applied geomorphology and issues of resource exploitation. Applied geomorphology and environmental management. Conclusion. Lot of programs are run using geomorphology. If you know about NAQUIM project, water management. If you know about mountain area development uses geomorphology. Minerals exploration uses geomorphology. Okay, this is your answer. Introduce with a small description of what is applied geomorphology. Then move on for a schematic, for a diagram, for a maybe a flow chart. कि बताओ scope of applied geomorphology क्या है. फिर body में one by one. Applied geomorphology and land occupancy issues. Applied geomorphology and resource exploitation. Applied geomorphology and environment management. And end, lot of programs are based on applied geomorphology. That's about it. So conclusions may, I'm suggesting move towards programs. So guys, in this much time, 1.5 hour session for a quick session, this is what I could have done. I've discussed 4 or 5 questions for all of you out of 10. Those enrolled students, आपको सारा model answer मिल जाएगा. You all will get case studies also. And please make sure that you are studying case studies properly with making jottings. Don't just read and keep it aside. Or ye answers ko ratta maar lo. Okay, you will not get too many questions beyond this. So all of you, those who are on our Telegram channels, okay, you definitely can refer to these documents. I'll share the questions with all of you, but I cannot share the model answers. I cannot share the case studies. YouTube guys, and enroll, of course, you have everything with you. Enroll guys, ask to kar nahi paya. Tomorrow, can you all be live for the answer writing session at 7? आपने परसों किया, आज नहीं किया. Tomorrow, can you mention if you're committed to that process or not? Will be there, Manan? Shivya, Yogender, yes. Divya, Divangana, Prachi, Piyush, all of you. Can I assume you all will attend the live sessions of writing? और अभी time 8:30 हो रहा है. Okay, so you have 3-4 hours with you till about 11:30 or 12 o'clock तक 10 आंसर, 10 में से मैंने 5 बता दिया आपको, बाकी 5 ही देखना है, बस यही 10 क्वेश्चन, दैट्स ऑल. ठीक है, ऑल गुड. मनीष, प्रज्ञा, अभिषेक, आकृति, पवन, मोहित, ऑल ऑफ यू आर committing to be there online. Kartik, yep, और सबने अभी भी नहीं किया है. I can still see a lot of many of you have not done, not committed yet. वेदांती, योगेंद्र, आप नहीं कर रहे हो कमिट. पवन, आप नहीं कर रहे हो कमिट. Okay, Manan, have you committed? Yes, you are. Haritha, not committed. आकृति ने किया है, आकृति ने भी नहीं किया कमिट. चलो ठीक है, आई कैन ओनली डू एज मच. ये पढ़ाई करो. देखो, if you can finish off one round of entire main study in 2.5 months, फिर आप बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो आगे जाकर. Okay, you can have a second round of revision, a third round of revision. आपको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा. पता है, अगर 2 महीने में if you can cover entire geomorphology, sorry, entire geography optional and entire GS, okay, June, July and half of August में भी आपको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा. देन फ्रॉम अगस्त से लेकर दिसंबर तक 3 राउंड आपका मेंस हो जाएगा. I do not want a perfect work, but I want the work to continue. Okay, and all of you watching me on YouTube, you all are welcome to join the programs. Okay, Vikas, you're welcome. Absolutely, join the program, and please come on our Telegram group where I keep asking you for your progress. ठीक है, chalo then, that's about it. Thank you for being a part of the session. And by the way, tomorrow afternoon में भी आपका live class है. Okay, you have a live class tomorrow afternoon also. We'll discuss some topics of geomorphology. छूट गया, हम पढ़ा देंगे कल आपको. I'll teach some topics to you tomorrow. The design of the program is fine, all of you. Let me know what you want me to change, okay? To change चाहिए, कोई modification चाहिए, please reach out and let me know. Okay then, see you all tomorrow 7 o'clock, live answer writing session.